I would like to invite Dr. Rasmireka Sethi, and in order to cordially invite her, I call upon Professor P. Gayatri from our English department to introduce Rasmireka Sethi for the next session. Ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Thank
Good evening to everyone present in this wonderful gathering. I'm quite sure that every one of us would have met many people who possess an expertise in their individual skills. But it is not quite often we may come across those who distinctly shine even with their very credentials. I feel very much honored to introduce one such personality this evening. This conference is honored to presence of Lieutenant Dr. Rashmi Rekha Sethi. We welcome you, ma'am. A professor by profession, a motivator by performance. Though her credentials have a long list that would last the length of this conference, I will try to the best of my capacity to present a comprehensive statement of her journey in the service as an academician. Her total experience of almost 18 years consists of her services in teaching students of multiple levels and standards. She has tutored many in-school service teachers and research associates with the field of school and teacher education. Apart from regular streamlines, Dr. Rashmi Rekha Shetty's area of specialization has an extension into many areas, such as teacher education, arts in education, guidance and counseling, yoga education, etc. There has been 35 publications of research papers from her part in various national and international journals. She has delivered many lectures and chaired sessions in national and international conferences, seminars, webinars, and workshops on different aspects of school and teacher education. Dr. Sethi has coordinated and acted as resource person in the professional development programs, training programs for teachers, and teacher educators organized by different institutions and universities. She has proved more than once that other than being a teacher, she is also a creative academician. She has developed modules and training materials for school teachers on guidance and counseling, gender issues, science education, etc. She has undertaken and completed 7 research projects funded by NCERT successfully. She has guided more than 50 MA and MPhil level dissertations and has guided and guides PhD scholars. At present, she is currently servicing at Regional Institute of Education at Bhubaneswar. Madam, we are honored to have your presence amidst us. I do hope the audience will enjoy the experience of a great session.
you, madam. Thank you, Gayatri, madam. So, namaskar to all the intelligentsia and wonderful environment. This is a very good environment and with beautiful evening. And good evening to all. And again, namaskar to all. And thank you once again, Gayatri madam, and thanks for giving me the opportunity for exploring the things in front of the big intelligentsia from different countries. So the topic, today's topic is reviewing related literature in research studies. So in particularly, I'll focus on the techniques of reviewing related literature in research studies. So the points, so it is better to share the screen now. Let me share my screen. So the screen, this screen is visible. Is it visible? No.
Not yet, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
We just
Let me take
some
1 second. Okay. It's visible perhaps. It's visible.
Yes, ma'am, it is visible now.
Okay. So all these are the points I have highlighted here, the points to be discussed. So I'll highlight on the introduction part and what is a literature review and the types of literature review and the relevance of the literature review and source for the literature and how to review a research paper. So that means the technique parts here I'll focus on and the analysis task of the literature review and the method of review and how we can prepare to review the material and to review the research paper and other papers also. And what are the points we have to remember for reviewing the paper? And also finally, the plagiarism part we have to keep in mind. So if you look at the introduction part, uh, from the very beginning, any research work, maybe one doctoral work, maybe master's research dissertation, action research, institutional research, or even any sponsored survey, it is examining what kinds of studies have already been conducted in both one's own country and overseas, and what are their findings. So why literature review is important in research studies? If the question will come like this, why literature review or review of related literature is very much important in the research studies? Yes, it is important. Why it is important? It is important as any other component of the research process. It provides an enlightenment into the problem part and also it eliminates the duplication of what has already been done and it provides useful hypothesis as the researcher formulates his or her hypothesis on the basis of a review of literature and also a review of related literature. It provides the helpful suggestions for very good and excellent and significant investigation. Some beginners think that time spent on a review of related literature is of wastage of time. So, but the time spent on this component initially will save time in the long run. Correct? It will have to know the references available and what they are located. So the researcher here will be familiar with the services offered by the libraries and other agencies. So it can facilitate and it facilitates in locating the important independent and dependent variables of the research studies. So review will give or it will enlighten and facilitate us to locate what research have already taken place and what variables and their relationships have been studied and what remains to be done. And the survey will reveal that what we can call it, the research gap. So on the basis of the review of related literature, we come to the part of the research gap. What is the research gap here? Comes from the review of related literature. If we analyze it, synthesize it very correctly, and in a very comprehensive manner. So the areas which has not been studied so far, that area is in the review of related literature, and this literature survey, both theoretical survey and the research, maybe the theoretical paper survey and the research paper survey. And from both the sides, for both the papers, it will enlighten to appreciate the significance of the study. As also, it tells others about its significance through the specific mention in the report. So this is what we call the significance of the study here in the final report. A review tells the application or implications of the findings and variables involved in the research study for the practices in the society. What are the practices? So in the last, my previous speaker explained very nicely with regard to the ethical and legal issue. So that also can be the part of this review of the related literature. And review will provide you the frame of reference. It can provide you the frame of reference for the study. And it gives the direction as we do the plan for the research work. We do firstly the review of research done previously in the particular area of interest and also relevant area, quantitative and qualitative of this research. And it is very much essential for the researchers to be up to date. In this platform, I can tell that it is very much essential for the researcher to be up to date in his or her information about the literature related to his or her problem already done by others. And it is considered the most important prerequisite to actual planning and also conducting the research. So then question comes now, how to do a scientific literature review? How to build academic career through the literature review? Is it possible? And that is why we have one chapter called Review of Related Literature in the research study. So in the dissertation or in the thesis or in any other, for any other research work, this is the priority based thing by which we can collect more and more information, whether any studies are there with my related with my studies or not. So what is then, if I say that what is a review of related literature, or I can say that is literature review. So critical overview of published and unpublished. Next, so I should, yes, a critical overview of published and unpublished materials on a topic which helps answer two fundamental questions. What are the current theoretical policy issues and debates related to your topic. What is the current state of knowledge about the issues and problems? The literature review, it is an integral part of the entire research process, as I have already said, and makes a valuable contribution to almost every operational step. And it is the number of sources I've used appreciated for the length of my paper. Some of the questions it will come related to this review of related literature. Okay, so here it means to organize the knowledge of specific area of research to evolve and devise knowledge to show that the researcher's study would be an addition to this field. And this work is highly creative and tedious as the researcher has to synthesize the available knowledge of the field in a unique way to provide the rationale for the study. In order to give the rationale of the study, in order to bring the need and justification of the study, and in order to give connection with next chapter, the review of related literature is very much essential. So that is why I have written here the review of related literature is an integral part of the entire research process and makes a valuable contribution to almost every operational step. So do I follow through a set of concepts and questions, comparing items to each other in the ways they deal with them, instead of just listing and summarizing the items? Do I assess them, discussing strengths and weaknesses? Is there any strength? Is there any weakness? And will the reader find my literature review relevant or appropriate? My literature review, is it relevant? Is it appropriate? Is it useful? And is it interesting? If not, why not? If not, if it is not interesting, if it is not relevant, if it is not appropriate, then why not? And how can it be changed? What is the process here? How it can be changed? So I have to take the effort here to how it can be changed. So that is why I have written all these questions, which leads towards the review of related literature. Then come to the types of literature review. One is traditional, or we can say that is narrative literature review, and another one is systematic literature review. Under that systematic literature, so means meta-analysis and meta-synthesis. So let us focus on the traditional or narrative review of related literature. This type critique and summarize the literature to draw conclusion about a topic in question. And the purpose here is to assess the current knowledge and direction of the future research. So review, here again I'm telling that review helps to set the research design, and it helps to identify and clarify the research question, and also it helps in developing the conceptual and theoretical framework, and it helps us to refine the methodology, and it also helps for sample design and selecting the variables, statistical tools, analysis and interpretation, etc. So all these are coming under the traditional and narrative literature review. Then next is systematic literature review. So systematic literature review, this method uses more well-defined approach. It uses more well-defined approach, mainly used for making a complete list of the published and unpublished studies related to a particular topic. And here it utilizes a more rigorous and well-defined approach for reviewing the related literature in a specific subject area. While traditional reviews attempt to summarize the results of a number of studies, and systematic reviews use the and a rigorous criteria to identify, critically evaluate, and synthesize the matter. Synthesize all the literature on a particular topic. So then come to meta-analysis. This type of review, it takes large quantitative findings and it conducts a statistical analysis to integrate these findings to enhance the understanding. Then what is metasynthesis here? Metasynthesis is a non-statistical technique used to integrate, evaluate, and interpret the findings of multiple qualitative research studies and to identify the common elements. Unlike meta-analysis, where the ultimate intention is to reduce the findings, metasynthesis involves analyzing different elements and analyzing and also synthesizing key elements in each study with the aim of transforming individual findings into new conceptualizations and interpretations. That means new conceptualizations and interpretations are made through this meta-analysis and synthesis. Okay. So then come to the source of the review of related literature. Basically, we're having the primary source, secondary source. All probably know that it is a literature resource of a study written by the original researcher, the primary resource or primary source. It is a research where the publication written by the person or people who conducted the research study. For example, the research articles, unpublished thesis, dissertation, personal diary, then handwritten record or reports. Secondary source, that these are the second-hand information prepared by someone other than the original author. Examples are the newspaper, books, like book chapters, then TV, radio, magazines, then Wikipedia, journals, etc. Then another one is tertiary source, primary, secondary, and tertiary source. So tertiary source, these are very good sources that can provide general background information to help narrow or broaden the focus of a topic. Then other sources are there, like libraries, and in that libraries, we're getting our journals and books and electronic sources as well. You can make use of it. That is Google Scholar, Gestro, Science Direct, Scopus. So all these sources everybody must be knowing. Then authors and their institute website. Suppose I am conducting one research study. So while reviewing, I am getting contact with the content and also the researchers. What they have already done, it is related with my review or my study, research study. Then I can, if possible, I can contact with the authors and their institute website for making it more clear and more authentic. And I can have a personal request to the authors for this. And other sources of research idea. So like everyday life, practical issues, then past research and theory, past research and theory. Then techniques to review a research paper. What kind of techniques can you adopt it for reviewing a research paper? Not only, yes.
Ma'am, your slides are not moving for me. I'm
Yes, ma'am.
seeing the first slide only.
Oh, it's moving.
No, it's
No,
not, ma'am.
ma'am, it is not moving, ma'am.
Oh, then I must stop sharing. Once again, I should say.
Maybe, ma'am, but from starting only, I'm seeing the first slide only.
Oh, no,
It is not moving.
Okay, then okay. Let me stop once again. I'm just sharing. How come it is? Yes. Yes. It's visible. Now
Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
yes. Now
Yes, ma'am.
yes, it's visible.
this slide, techniques to review a research paper.
Yes, it's visible.
Thank you. So here, techniques to review a research paper. It may be research paper. It may be the conceptual paper. Even right now, nowadays, we are getting the paper or we are getting the information to send the conceptual paper. Even in the conceptual paper, suppose I'm reviewing and putting review of related literature in the conceptual paper, that can be considered as the research paper. Correct. So what are those techniques to review a research paper? A study of 3 papers here and 3 kinds of methodology. That is, are the papers theoretical, methodological, and empirical or policy oriented paper. Okay. So theoretical means the explanation of other researches, explanation of other resources, explanation of the variables, phenomena, or principles, or elements, whatever is there are facts in the theory. Suppose I'm taking it out. So I have to mention somewhere the researcher's name. And then the same thing, the references also. We have to write down in the reference. Okay. So then for the methodological part, and it is based on the method of research. When review of related literature is done for the method, that means what kind of method? Suppose I'm reviewing and relating to my research study. I'm just analyzing and I have to find out there what kind of methodology other researchers have adopted. So accordingly, suppose so many researchers, they have done on my related topic like survey method. So I'll try for the experimental as it has not been conducted. Vice versa also. Suppose they have conducted the experimental research, I can try for survey kind of, maybe descriptive sort of survey. So based on the method of research also, we can review it. Then empirical or policy oriented research or techniques. For the techniques, we can review the research paper like a legal opinion of the members of the judicial system. As empirical, I'm telling that is legal opinion of the members of the judicial system. It is connected with the policy-oriented matter. And empirical, when the people are speaking are related with the ethics, related with the values and certain norms and standards based, it is based upon some norms and standards of the society and reflected in the research studies. That also we can review it and identify then key words and phrases relevant to the research study. We have to take out the keywords and also the phrases. From where we are taking immediately, suppose I'm maintaining diary or suppose I'm typing there only. So I have to somewhere mention from which source I'm taking it out. Okay. Then we have to identify the type of the article. What kind of article it is? It should be identified while reviewing. Then identifying the sources of review of related literature while reviewing. So we have to identify the sources and also we have to identify the titles of potentially relevant reports. Titles of potentially relevant reports. We have to identify the titles even. So how generally we give the instruction to our MS students and MPhil students. As much as you can, you just do the thorough review and a review of related literature. If you are doing more and more, so your knowledge in the research area will be expanded, and the horizon of the knowledge will be expanded in such a way you won't believe. So that is why we give the instruction to the students to go through the review of related literature before framing the title, even before setting the area, in which area you are interested in, for selecting the area, for selecting the title. So first you go through the studies, what kind of studies have been conducted and who have already conducted this one. Okay, so identifying the titles of the reports or titles of any research study also will help for writing the review. And another is read the abstract carefully. Another point, next point is read the abstract carefully. Abstract, how much abstract one will write in the research paper or in the article? Hardly, it will be 5-6 sentences. In that 5-6 sentences, everything is included here. How to write down the abstract? That can also be reviewed. And if I'm taking help of that also and getting the cognitive ability, touching with the research part, also I can make it the review. I can involve in the review process. And next one is read the conclusion. What kind of conclusive remarks have been given by the researcher? That means abstract must have link with the conclusive remarks. Abstract and inside of the body text or main body text, and also finally the conclusive remarks. So what is the link here? Abstract and conclusion, that also has to be reviewed. And we have to understand the research issues to be addressed. What kind of research issues are there? We have to just take it in our note. We have to take it in our note. We have to jot down it. Then what are the objectives? Then what are the methodology and how it has been analyzed and interpreted? That also can give some light or enlighten, I say, for reviewing the related literature. Okay. Then next slide is for 4 analysis tasks of the literature review. What are those tasks of literature review? First one is summarize. How to summarize it? Summarize in the sense here, all those researchers have conducted, suppose I have taken the study of 60 researchers. How to summarize it? Based upon the variables, based upon the methodology, and based upon a theme or conceptual, or else the conclusive part. We can summarize, it is concluded that, then my horizon of knowledge will be included here, will be put here. Okay, so that means how to summarize it completely depends upon the thorough reading of the review. Then only I can summarize it in a very nice manner, in a very comprehensive manner. Even element-wise, year-wise, and element-wise, how many researchers are said for first element? How many researchers are supported to the second element? Also, I can say the variables. Or how many researchers are supporting to the third variables? Like that only. So summarization depends on the review part. Or if I'm doing so many review, then only I can summarize it very nicely. Same thing, synthesis also. I can synthesize the thing if I read more and more review. Critically, I can analyze it. Critically, I can analyze it in one paper. Now that's computer, everybody knows the computer. In the computer, I can put, or I can put in the sense, I can make it a table and uh, like the concepts or the elements or the variables or other conceptual things can be put in one column, then year, then researchers. So like that. So in one plain paper also, firstly I have to draw the line, line in the sense of table. I have to make the table in the tabular form. So year wise, I can put the researchers' view relating to the particular area or a particular topic, either or particular variables. Then only the critical evaluation part will be possible. After all this summarization, synthesization, and critical evaluation, then last one is it will be very easier for comparing. I can make it the comparison nicely if I'm putting whatever I'm getting, I'm putting there. So where to put in the computer, that also we'll discuss. Okay, the next slide. Here I want to say method of presentation of the review. How to present the review. How to present. It can be presented in a chronological order, maybe ascending order, maybe in descending order. So then, like for example, I'm collecting the review year wise. I'm writing here from 2022, then 2021, then 2000, then 2019, like that in the descending manner. It will be possible. I can go up to 10 years, maximum, minimum 5 years, because within 1 year, so many research studies are available. Okay, then after chronological systematization, so I can go further for the thematic thing. Thematic thing means, yeah, thematic paper. Suppose I have taken four variables. As per the variable, as per each variable, it can be developed. Review can be developed, or I can put it in a very systematic way. So relating to my first variable, how many researchers are how many researchers have conducted the research relating to my first variable? What kind of conclusion, what kind of findings they have found out? So very simple, all these are. Then come to preparation. So for the preparation, what I was telling, we can maintain some files. Here I have written 3 files. We can prepare more files. So first, I have written the master file, then summary file, then reference file, then final review. Master file. So I can put it in Word document, and I can prepare one first master file, then summary file, then reference file, whatever I'm collecting or review. In the master file, I must keep everything. Some files, I have to make it ready. Then in the master file, I have to put all this kind of thing. Then summary related to the summary part, that means conclusion part. What kind of conclusive remarks have been given by the different researchers that can be put in the summary file. Okay, as you know that in the reference file also, whatever sources I have used or I have opened, or I mean, which resources are available in front of me, whatever I've used it, so that can be written here in the reference file. So at the last, so no need to be so much worried about the reference part. Sometimes it happens, we do, and we write and we read, but we forget. We forget to take the reference part. So that is why we can make it one file for the reference file, then final review. In the final review, that master file and summary file, then reference, all those kind of files connecting to all these files. So in the final review, I can put in a very systematic way in the final review, referring to each and every aspect of the study. And I have already said that for the publication part, suppose this is conceptual paper and I'm putting the review of related literature there, also it can be considered as the research paper, though you have not done the or not conducted the research. That is also researching. Two parts. One is a review of related literature, another one is research studies. Correct. So we have to remember some of the points here. Critical review is very much important, and reading too many things to be avoided, and reading but not writing will not lead to anywhere. And last one is plagiarism. Too much caution on plagiarism is there in the review of related literature. Because in the review of related literature, no doubt you are reviewing so many and you are putting and you have already made one chapter, but some of in the plagiarism, some of the rules and regulations are there in the plagiarism. That also we have to follow it. So that is why I have written too much caution on the plagiarism. Then come to the plagiarism part. Use without the and without the acknowledgement and of the intellectual other people, and the act of representing the ideas or discoveries of another as your own in written work submitted for the assessment. Then using words more or less exactly as they have been used in articles, lectures, television programs, books, or even also nowadays we are referring YouTube. The link is there of the YouTube channel and or anywhere else. And using other people's ideas or theories without saying whose ideas they are, also plagiarism card. It is coming under the plagiarism. And paraphrasing what you read or hear without stating where it comes from. That also comes under plagiarism. Then the idea-based plagiarism. What is this? Idea-based plagiarism. Taking and reproducing ideas, theories, opinion, etc., which the writer knows what they have read or heard from other sources without stating what the resources are and where they can be found out. And even if the ideas, theories, opinions, etc., are written in your own words, the result is still is in plagiarism. The only information that can be used without reference to source is that deemed to be common knowledge within the field. So not referring to the source material enough, even every time a source is referred to, it must be fully referenced, even if this is several times on the same page. The next one is language-based plagiarism. So using words in an identical or similar form to the original, this includes submitting a complete essay or assignment written by someone, it is written by someone else as your own work, or resubmitting your own previously assessed work. And submitting the work which includes sections or paragraphs written by someone else. That is language-based plagiarism. So all these are the things what I wanted to share with all. So cutting and sometimes cut paste also, cut paste, cutting and pasting sections or even sentences from a web source, even where a sentence is copied and then changed by substituting one or two words or changing the word order. All this is still plagiarism, even if the source is fully referenced both in the text and in the list of references. So we'll use the reference, we'll use in review of related literature. That is why we have to be very cautious for this. And if we'll be very much careful for writing the review of related literature, so then only perhaps the plagiarism rate will be less as per the recommendations of UGC. So it will be manageable. Okay, thank you so much. If any queries there or if additional part is there to add, you can put your suggestions here. Thank you, madam.
That was a wonderful session, ma'am. Thank you so much. And I would like to invite any questions from the part of the audience. You can give a question.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Ma'am, it's Aparna from KIT University, Bhubaneswar.
Okay.
Ma'am, actually, I have heard one term. It was really very nice presentation. Thank you so much, ma'am. And my question is that there is a concept of self-plagiarism. So,
Yes.
so can you please?
Yes, and suppose you are writing. Suppose you are writing one report, and out of that, and you are just for the PhD purpose or any other research work. So that is your work only. That is your work, and you are taking, and you are writing also your name there in reference. Still, it will be considered as the self plagiarism. That means your own thing also you can put in a modified version. So a same word, same sentence should not be there. So if you are putting same thing, then the rate of plagiarism will be more, which will affect then for submission of the your PhD work.
Ma'am, if I'm excuse me, ma'am, if I am writing or acknowledging myself in the reference part, still it will be considered as self-plagiarism.
Yes.
Okay, so we have to change the wordings and we should write accordingly, otherwise it will be considered as the self-plagiarism, right, ma'am?
It's there, but the thing is the rate. I'm telling the rate of some software are there, some software are there, and the UGC has given the software that is Shudha.
Okay,
So,
ma'am.
and other software are there, like so many softwares are there.
Ma'am, actually we are using the Turnitin. It is
Turnitin.
actually,
Yes.
ma'am, organizational based.
Yes.
And ma'am, actually another question I had that if we want to do the plagiarism test by ourselves, so which are the softwares that we can refer?
See, you are using this Turnitin, that is the best one you are using. So other I can say that like Urkul is there.
Yes, ma'am, I have heard
Is
that
it?
one.
Then Grammarly also, Grammarly. That
Ma'am,
can be
is
used.
Grammarly for plagiarism or it is only for grammar correction?
No. So that is also the software.
Okay,
That
ma'am.
is not for the grammar correction only.
Okay,
So,
ma'am.
UGC had already set the the rate of plagiarism, how much can be permissible.
Ma'am,
So,
will you
the
please?
percentage wise, it is 10%.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, percentage wise, it is 10%. Up to 10% you are permissible.
Okay, ma'am.
Otherwise, even if you cut with the self plagiarism.
Okay, ma'am, that Urkund we can use individually. That personally we can use the Urkund.
Yes. But it is not free.
Yes, ma'am. The
You are
only are
using
paid.
Turnitin? Yes.
Ma'am, actually, the organizational we are using the Turnitin.
It's
But
okay then.
Turnitin is not allowed for individual, I hope, or it is allowed, that I don't know
No, it is
exactly.
allowed. It is allowed. Individually, if you can buy it also. Some softwares are very free.
Even I have heard about iAuthenticate, ma'am, also. I don't know whether it is reliable
I
or
have
not.
not experimented. All this what I said, I have experimented.
Okay, ma'am.
And,
So,
really,
Urkund.
yes. Orkun. Then what I said beginning UGC as in Sudha.
Okay, ma'am.
Sudha.
Whether it's
Okay.
paid, ma'am? That UGC.
Sudha.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
It is also paid. Okay, ma'am.
UGC.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Good evening. Namaste, ma'am. Ma'am, I have one question.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, I have a question that suppose I have read any text, right?
Yes.
And based on that reading, I have some point of view, some vantage point also, right? And I have written that point, right? And मतलब मैं उस point को लेकर के जाती हूँ अपने गाइड के पास, ठीक है? अब मान लीजिए उसी point को किसी राइटर ने अपनी critical text में से लिखा हुआ है, तो how will my guide decipher कि is it my original point, my original vantage point, my original point of view, or it is the point of view of some renowned author or some renowned critic? How we will bifurcate between the two, ma'am?
See, one thing, previous speaker said, sometimes we are committed to our work, correct? So with the devotion, with your originality, you are writing, and that is completely your ideas. That is your own set of principles, whatever you have written, whatever thoughts have come in your mind, you have written, and you are going to your guide. But there, so it is, I mean to say that it is not like justifiable condition that you are correct, that is of your own original thought. Okay, so in that context, if it is not pen and paper, suppose, for example, I am a guide, I know that what kind of sentences you are using, what language you are using, and in which way you are writing. Suppose my speaking and your speaking will be different. My write-up and your write-up will be different. So again, it can be related with the ethic part.
But
Correct.
ma'am, for that thing,
See, I'm assessing to you. So I'm assessing to you whether. So I mean to say that here. So I have to collect my opinion. I have to collect my opinion. I have to go as per my opinion for your work only. For your work, correct? So there, so it is understood for me that is of your work or your sentences or your ideas you have put it. So when you are talking with me, while talking also, and even while using the language, while using the vocabulary, so it will be known that that belongs to you, or that ideas belongs to you. So it can be identified. This is number one. And number two, suppose somebody has taken your ideas. So in which platform? So second thing you said, na? So in which platform you are putting so that somebody is taking away?
okay.
Okay. Understood. So
Yeah.
if it is your own idea, so for this purpose, for this purpose nowadays, what is happening? Uh, Negative people are so many. Negative people are there. So when somebody has written against someone has written against somebody, okay, so that somebody will be able to know who has written that. After looking at the write-up part, someone can guess and someone can be very clear that wording, that sentences is of that person. So in this way, your thought process, your cognitive capacity, and your interest of area, or area of interest, I mean to say, area of interest, and your reasoning ability, being the guide, I know, na, already I know. So then obviously there is no doubt about, there is nothing to put here in the doubt myself for your work
Yeah.
or for
Got
your
it, ma'am.
donation.
Yeah,
Got it?
got it. Thank you,
Okay.
ma'am. Thank
Hello.
you so much, ma'am.
Hello.
Good evening, ma'am.
Hello.
Yes.
Good evening, madam.
Good
Hello.
evening. Very good evening.
Madam, this is Vikas Mishra,
Uh-huh.
and I want to ask you a question related with, any PhD scholar may face this type of problem, which I
Okay.
am facing right now. Madam, I want to ask you whether if we are preparing chapters of our study, and in our part, I live in Maharashtra, and in our part, our supervisors ask us to publish at least two research papers along with his name. So if I'm publishing research papers, publishing a part of my chapters as research papers in journals, and then after completing my thesis, I go on for plagiarism test. Will it be called plagiarism if I already published a part of my thesis already?
So you
Will
are
it come
asking
under
about.
plagiarism?
Okay. Okay. Good. Good. Good question. So suppose you are telling that suppose you have already published one. Okay. For your research work, because you are going to
Yeah,
submit your thesis. So for that
yeah,
purpose, your two research paper are required. Not two research papers. Two
yeah.
publications are required, and also
Mm,
conference and all. Suppose you are publishing two papers, and one
mm,
paper has already published, and
mm.
another one is there to publish, and first one suppose it is published, and second one will bring some plagiarism from first one, like that only what I
No,
understood.
no, no, madam. Suppose I have already published more than two papers, but the papers which I have published in journals were also the parts of my chapters.
Yes.
Okay. So if I go for plagiarism now, which is a compulsory test before submission, uh, will it be called a plagiarism or self-plagiarism as you discussed earlier?
No, see, the terminology, what I said, the terminology, the sentence, and see, some of the review part will be the same. See, the review part will be same or not? The review part will be same, but when the content you are presenting, so little bit, just you make it little bit difference. So some words, another thing, I'm just giving you the technique. So just you put there the words, suppose plagiarism is taking, so you taking away. So you just put it, so right click and use the therasus. Use the therasus and put it other words instead of that word, what you have already used. That is very simple.
So still I'm not satisfied, madam.
And again, I'm
Here,
telling.
will it
Again,
come
I'm
under
telling.
plagiarism?
Yes,
If a part of
yes,
study
yes,
has already
it
been
can
published
come
in
under
journal.
plagiarism, self-plagiarism. Yes, that will also come under self-plagiarism.
Self-plagiarism. Okay.
Okay, that is I'm giving you the technique. You just do one thing. Suppose you have already used the words. Again, through the plagiarism, it is catching all those words. So it will be visible which words and which sentences are cut by the plagiarism. So
You
it will
mean to
be
say,
visible. So
yeah, you mean to
accordingly,
say I will have to change the language and style of my thesis, right?
no. Style of thesis, you should not change it.
That is the same
Only
style of
words also in sentences also it can be.
okay.
Modifying sentence, sentence suppose you have written, so you can modify. You can just, I have told you that you just put the right click of your mouse and just use the therasus words also. Use the therasus. That can
Okay.
also serve the purpose.
Okay. Thank you, madam.
Okay.
Hello.
Yes.
Yes, good evening, ma'am.
Very good evening.
I have a question with the slide of preparation. If you can go
Yes.
back to the preparation slide.
Yes.
I'm confused with that.
Preparation.
Yes, in that you have said no master file, summary file, reference
Yes.
file, and final review. So
Yes.
basically, do we need to make this, MS Word, master file, summary
Yes.
file?
Only MS Word. Only MS Word.
So in master file, means if I have suppose 50 papers, so basically what I have to exactly put in a master file and summary file, and in reference only I have to put the reference, and for the how I will means add, sometimes if I have to shortlist some paper from that, and then how I will shortlist from that. Means if I have a huge file like 50, 100.
Yes, I got it. I got your questions. So how you can use it, I mean to say, isn't it? So
Yes.
in the master file, suppose you are collecting one file, you just prepare one file. Suppose you are going through and I'm reading. Suppose I'm reading here. So I'm reading. So 1, 2, 3, 4, I'm reading. So I am putting all those things in a master file.
Whatever comes to my mind regarding a particular paper.
Everything you just put in the master file. Okay.
Means all the paper I have to put in a master file.
Paper means which
one
paper?
Complete.
Paper means
master file will be MS Word file, right?
Yes.
Master file will be MS Word file. So
yes.
I have a 50 paper or 10 paper. So I have to completely put whole paper in a master file in MS Word.
Yes. Paper in the sense, are you asking about the
research paper?
Research papers. Now, suppose I have done one research. So you are taking my research paper. So it has been published in the journal. So you are taking the help of that and you are putting it into the master file. Whole. I'm telling the whole. Suppose it is. I have published it with 10 pages. 10 pages.
Okay.
all 10 pages you have to keep in the master file, because when you are going to present in the PhD, so during that time also external may ask about these papers. Have you gone through the papers pura thoroughly? How many pages are there? So suppose any you have to make ready for that. That is why I'm telling
We
about
can
master
put
file.
it in a folder, no? In if I will put in a
Then one
MS Word, in a
folder you do,
single
na?
MS Word file.
Only one folder you do. In that folder, just make it file.
Okay, the master, I have to make a one folder, and for that I have to keep all the files in that
Yes,
folder.
yes,
That's
yes.
the that will be the master folder maybe.
Yeah, you can make it folder. No issue. Make it
And
folder.
for the all the summary will be in one file, and
Yes.
all the references will be in one
Summary
file.
here, I mean to say, summary here, suppose being the researcher, I have given my conclusive remarks, either or educational implications,
Right.
or summary part and also abstract part. I have said now beginning, abstract has the connection with the summary or a conclusion. So whatever the summary you are getting from my paper, put it there. And another paper you go through, and whatever the summary part you are taking from there also, you put it there. So like that. So in one folder,
Okay.
you can keep it. File or
And what
folder.
about Q sheet, ma'am? We prepare Q sheet in MS Excel. Q sheet.
Use it. Use it. You can use it. Use it. No issue.
Okay, what will be better, means master file or Q sheet? If I have to, at the end, I have to see all
See,
of,
I'm telling you, if you are keeping in the master file or summary file, you are preparing file, different files, it will be easier for you when you will present your PhD, or when you are going to be awarded on that day. So your presentation will be done, na? Your presentation will be done. So when you'll be evaluated, that day also it may be useful for you.
okay. And
QC
ma'am,
also is better. So it depends upon you, and also it depends upon the nature of the study also. Again, I'm telling you. It depends
so
upon the nature
basically,
of the study.
I have one question, that should we prepare the master file, summary file, reference file, as well as Q sheet both while reading paper? Should we prepare both?
You can keep it. You can keep it.
Okay.
Okay.
And I have one more question, ma'am. At the time of finalizing our thesis topic, I am right now in finalizing the topic of my thesis. So basically, how to do the literature review, because we have very less time. After finalization, we have more time to go to the literatures and for the read and all. But at the time of finalizing our topic, we have less time to finalize. So how to do the literature review efficiently to just finalize the topic? If I have 3-4 topics in my mind, so I have to read about 3-4 topics. So how efficiently I can do the literature review and get finalized to one topic?
Can you give the example? Suppose
Like
yeah.
I'm in HR, HRM
Okay.
background. So
Okay.
basically, I have some topic in mind, like HR analytics I have in mind.
Mhm.
So basically AI in HRM, then emotional intelligence I'm thinking about, and some. So I have a 3-4 topics in my mind. So when I go to my guide, so she said that HR analytics, most of the MNCs are opting it, and it's not so much in the India. How will you collect the data? So sometimes I'm very much interested in this topic, but sometimes we don't get data, maybe. So because of that, I have to just cancel that topic. So I have a
Oh.
topic in my mind. So how I can do efficiently the literature review and finalize one topic in a less time, like in a 6 month or so, because literatures are abundant, so many papers are available. So just how to get done with this to finalize one topic. I hope
Actually,
I'm
firstly, can I answer now? So
yes.
firstly, uh, first thing is area of interest. First one
Yes,
is
ma'am.
you are doing in HR, your area is HR. Okay. So you can select a sub area where you will feel comfortable. You will work. Your guide will not work. You will work for yourself only. Guide will guide you, will give the direction, and will show the path. But as per your area of interest, that is number one criteria. And number two, suppose you are just overwhelming or putting the leg here, there, or hand here and there, and the thought process is going from here to jumping from here to there. How to select the review in this context? So just you first concentrate on the area of interest. Then second one is, as per your area of interest, you do the thorough review as much as you can. Suppose another thing you have added, suppose that the topic is totally new and no review you are getting. You can do the research. Can't you do? Is it possible? It is possible.
I'm getting the literature on that topic.
So you are getting the literature, but you are not concentrating upon one.
Yes, I have few topics in my mind, and basically I just want that to select one topic in that. So I have a limited time to just select one topic. So I have a abundance of literature available for 3-4 topics. So how
Okay.
efficiently I can do the literature review and just select one in a limited time? Because after selecting, I have 2-3 years to just do the literature review and work on my particular topic. But before selecting, I have an abundance of literature. So how efficiently I can do, and how it's, since I have to do in a 6 months. So basically, what strategy should I, if you can suggest?
Yes, now I'm getting your several factors are responsible for this. Maybe your background, isn't it? Researcher, some of the factors, as we know that researchers' background and availability of resources, that is another one. And the third one is study time frame, isn't it? Sufficient time is also needed for review. So
Yes.
hurriedly you cannot jump from here to there, and hurriedly you cannot concentrate on any one of the topics, because your mind several topics are moving here. Isn't it? Several topics are moving. So, for example, 3-4 topics are moving. So, completely it depends upon you. What I'm telling, that it completely depends upon you. As much as you can review it in the sense of year wise, you just collect the review. You go through the review year wise, and then you just see which researchers you are referring to, which researchers have already done it. Okay, and also element wise, sometimes which topic you are thinking, you are thinking that all these are the separate. Sometimes it may happen all these variables you put all together, you can take it. Suppose you're interested for emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence, very good topic. Right now, it's emotional intelligence is running all over the country, as also other countries also.
Yes, but what I found is it's very much research topic. I got interested in this, but it's so meta analysis already in done 2010, so it's very much research topic, means thoroughly research topic. So I'm confused, should I take this topic or not?
Yes, that will be better for you. You are HR. Your field is HR, isn't it? So emotional intelligence, on emotional intelligence, you can do it. That is very demandable. And another thing I said, it must be up to date. Up to date in the sense here, what I said that some of the factors like researchers background. So, in that context, I'll tell that researchers, experienced researcher find it's very easy, experienced researcher. They find it is very easy to prepare a review of related literature than the beginner. As you are the beginner, so you are facing the difficulty. And number two is available resources. So like a computer, your internet, like other facilities, your like online or offline journal, offline, online, even online and offline journal subscription. If you are subscribing online or offline journal also, it will help you a lot, and it make it easy to prepare a good review of related literature. And time factor, I have said that time frame. So sufficient time is also needed. So hurriedly, you should not take the decision also. And the last one is your availability of the support system. If there are many research scholars, and involved in the research, then suppose your friends are doing, so you have got connected with your friends and what they are doing. Suppose they are doing and also suppose they are doing related with your topic or related to your topic, also you will get the help from them for review purpose. I'm telling, for a review purpose. And if there are many research scholars involved, the researcher, then a good review of related literature can be gathered here. So finally, I'll request you go through so many review. So if you will tell that time is so too short for me, or I'm right now paucity of time is there, so I'm not getting time, and put much effort for review of related literature, then only your clarity of thought will come definitely. Okay, so review will help you in this regard. If you think that my guide will decide the topic, so this is not a wise decision. Okay, so
I'm not thinking guide will decide. Yes.
No, I'm telling you, ultimately you have to do. So
Yes, ma'am.
You have to do, and your guide only will show you the path. Okay, guide will guide you, so they can give you the platform. But the thing is, you have to do, and conceptual framework, conceptual clarity you take from the review of related literature. Conceptual clarity is very much essential. Conceptual clarity. Otherwise, it will be difficult to go about it. Conceptual clarity, from where it will come? Only the review of related literature it will come. Okay, so it is better to do the thorough review. Okay,
Yes.
Are you satisfied?
Thank
or
you
not?
so much, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, I'm satisfied.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Ma'am, I want to ask you a question. If you have suggested us 2-3 names of softwares to check plagiarism, है ना? Suppose I go for one, turned in, I went for that to check plagiarism, and after that, my university checked it with other software. Then will it fall again under plagiarism? That it is already checked.
Now, when you have already checked it, when you have already checked it, and also you are putting the documentary evidence and the percentage of the plagiarism, the percentage of the plagiarism you have already given, submitted. So
Yes,
below
ma'am.
percentage you have already submitted. So again, if university is checking, it will not come. If it comes also, So once
Yes,
again,
ma'am.
if it comes also, no need to worry. Sometimes
Ma'am,
it comes.
actually, many of my friends, they got checked it individually, and then
Okay.
university checked it, and it creates problem for their thesis.
So what is the percentage rate?
Ma'am, I don't remember exactly. It
Very,
was
no, lot of difference may not be. Very little
okay.
bit difference, very thin difference will be. I
Okay.
know that, I know. So,
Okay, ma'am.
okay. So no
Yes,
need
ma'am.
to worry, no need to worry. It will come. Suppose university is, suppose you are using 20 and university is using your Orkun. Suppose
Yes, ma'am.
very, it will not, the difference will not be very vast. It is very lean and thin difference. So
Okay.
you need not be so worried. And also, if university is showing the percentage, very little difference percentage, then where it is where it is falling also, that will be identified by the software. So that only you can change it.
Yes, ma'am. It is shown with yellow lines in turn 10, I think so.
Hmm.
We can change it. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Okay, thank
Thank
you, thank you. Sometimes flexibility has to be maintained, na? So suppose I'll be thinking that I have already submitted and university again has done it, and again issue with my ethic. Okay, so then there only everything's must. So I have to go. I have to move further. I have to go ahead. That is why let university do. And if it is coming, then also I'll modify it. No issue. Okay.
Okay,
Now,
ma'am. Thank you so much.
okay. Thank you. Okay.
Good evening.
Any other? Yes, any other is there? Yes,
Yes,
good
I have a
evening. Good
question.
evening. Okay.
Yes. Yeah, my name is Ibrahim Haruna. I'm a medical practitioner from Ghana. Thank you for your presentation on literature review. Is the literature review important in research? Yes. In your presentation, you define meta-analysis as non-statistical techniques used to integrate, evaluate, and interpret the findings of multiple literatures that aims at transforming individual findings into new conceptual form, right? Good. One of your students, one of the participants asked you a question on plagiarism, and then you made mention that it is accepted, the accepted percentage of plagiarism is 10%. But looking at meta-analysis, where you are integrating different literatures to make a solid point in a research article or in a dissertation, are you likely to meet the 10% or go beyond the 10%? Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for your critical evaluative questions. So critically you have evaluated, then only you are asking. Very good. Very good. Thank you. So in meta-analysis, what I said, that this type meta-analysis is a type of review. It takes the quantitative findings. Again, I'm telling, it takes the quantitative findings and conducts a statistical analysis to integrate these findings for enhancing the understanding. Correct? So, when I am collecting so many review and putting it into the statistical or else in turn I can say that the statistical analysis part I am doing. So that means I have reviewed like 100 or 80, suppose 80 or 100 reviewed, I have done it. And putting it all together, aspects wise, elements wise, variables wise, correct? Variables wise. And upon these variables, here also we can use the mean, we can use the standard deviation. So all the statistical techniques can be put here for the meta-analysis. Okay, so here meta-analysis, and in that meta-analysis, we have to integrate the statistical, we have to integrate the findings part for our own understanding in a better way. So that means it is not qualitative. It is not, I'm not taking the qualitative part. As statistics is concerned, I'm taking it in a I'm taking the quantitative findings here. Quantitative findings. So again, meta-synthesis. Meta-synthesis is a non-statistical technique. So we can integrate, we can evaluate, we can interpret. What will interpret here? The findings of the multiple qualitative research studies to identify the common elements, to identify the common variables, to identify the common opinion, common facts, or common principles. Correct. But there in meta-analysis, I'm putting the percentage or mean or standard deviation or any statistical tool I'm using here for analysis of the result part. Result in the sense that finding, only findings. Because how I'll enhance my understanding, then there, for my understanding it is there. It is not like that I'll put in the thesis. Correct. So here what I feel, the connectivity of the plagiarism and the meta-analysis, the plagiarism will not come here in the picture of meta-analysis. When I'm writing, I'm copying down and I'm referring, and again the same thing is repeated. So that time only plagiarism will come. And also even I said that self-plagiarism. I have written and even my name is there in the reference, still it is coming under the self-plagiarism.